Hi, my name is Rebecca and I'm from Green Mountain Horse and Tack. Today I'm going to cover the two main types of bits. I'm going to give you a 5-part series. We're going to cover everything about bits, and my goal here is to help you understand the functions, the different sizes, the different styles of bits, so that you can determine whether or not the bit that you have in your horse's mouth is the correct bit for you and your horse. I remember when I got my first horse and I went into the tack shop for the first time, and I was gonna pick out a bit for my horse and I thought I knew what I was doing, and I go and look at this big giant wall of bits and I just stood there and stared at it because I had no idea what I was looking for. So my goal is for you to go into a tack shop at the end of this series and know exactly which bit you need, and you can pull it off the shelf and be confident that this is the bit that you need. Often bits can be regulated by a breed association or a horse show association. They'll recommend a bit based on the breed of your horse and what discipline you're showing in. This can be a good thing, and it can also be a very dangerous thing. There can be two horses of the same breed that have completely different mouths, and you have to be careful which bits you put in a mouth. You can ruin the horse by that, or you can hurt him. So these are the two main types of bits. We have a curb bit and we have a snaffle bit. I'm going to discuss the functions of these. The main difference between these two bits is where they apply pressure to your horse. They can apply pressure to the poll, your cheeks, the tongue, the nose, the bar, and so many different other places on the horse's mouth that you just don't really think about when you think of a bit. So when we talk about the different pressure points in a bit, some bits may use all of those pressure points, while other bits just might use 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of those different pressure points. So we're first going to talk about a snaffle. A snaffle is considered a direct pull bit. What that means is this is going to be in your horse's mouth. There is no curb chain, there is no shank on it, and the meaning of a direct pull is when you pull on the reins and you pull this bit, the pressure is going directly into the mouth. It's not pulling the poll down or working on the cheeks. It's just in the mouth of the horse. So you're basically just applying that pressure straight into the horse's mouth. So to identify a snaffle bit, you usually just have 2 rings on the other side. This is what's called a king D. This one is an egg butt. But they all look really similar, don't they? They just have these little circles on the end of the bit. A curb bit, on the other hand, uses what's called leverage. You'll notice that on a snaffle, it's just little loops on the end, and the reins and the bridle both attached to the same hole. Whereas on a curb chain, you have these long shanks, and this is also a curb chain. You can see the shanks on there. The bridle attaches here, and the reins will attach here. So this is a very common curb bit. This is what's called a tom thumb bit, and you'll notice it does have a curb chain on it right now. Curb chains come in nylon forms and leather forms, and usually you can get different types of chains to put on here based on how much pressure you need to put on your horse's chin. So the way that the leverage works is when you attach the reins to these bottom holes, when you pull back, this curb chain is going to go up against the horse's chin. So this is going to apply pressure to both the mouth and the chin and also the poll. If you don't know where the poll is, it's right up above the horse's ears, right behind them where you would put the bridle on. So when this pulls back, it's going to apply pressure up there. And so the looser your curb chain is, the more pressure is going to be applied up top on the pole, and the tighter your curb chain is, the less pressure is going to be applied up there. Pole pressure can be a very effective and productive tool in a horse. Horses will naturally evade pull pressure, which usually causes them to lower their head so they can get away from the pressure. So a horse with a lowered head is usually wanted in all types of disciplines. You don't want your horse's head in the air. So these shank bits can be perfect, but they can also be dangerous. If you start a young horse in a shank bit and the horse doesn't know how to naturally move with the bit or be guided with the bit, you can make a hard-mouthed horse where he will try to evade the bit or fight it. So you always want to be careful. Usually people will start off with a snaffle and then move to the curb chain once the horse understands the basic principle of how a bit works, and you can guide him with that snaffle bit. Then these are excellent step-ups and training bits that you can use. So a curb bit and a snaffle bit are the 2 main types of bits. However, there are a few other ones. We do have something that is called a combination bit. which would be a Hackamore and a bit combined. You'll notice it's got the Hackamore part here. A Hackamore is usually a bit, or a bit without a bit. It connects to the bridle and applies pressure to the cheeks and the pole and everything else like that. A combination would have also a bit included in the Hackamore. You usually see these in the contesting rings and the rodeo circuits, things like that. They're usually used with advanced horseback riders and contesting horses and very experienced horses. That concludes our first video in the 5-part series. I really hope that this has helped you understand a little bit more of the bits. Our next video will cover the materials that make up the bits, the different types of metals, along with the different types of sizes that they come in and how you would measure it. So I hope to see you in our second video.